The Romulans had a base, known as the Vault, that they used for research into Borg technology. This facility was abandoned in the chaos after the destruction of the Romulan homeworld, but intelligence suggests that the work there was far enough along that it was used to retrofit Nero's ship before it disappeared, along with Ambassador Spock's vessel in the Hobus system. Long-range sensors have detected energy spikes in the Halcona system, and Starfleet intelligence believes that someone is bringing the Vault back online. We need to know who, and more importantly, we need to know if there is still Borg technology or restricted weaponry on that base. I need you to proceed immediately to the Halcona system and investigate the Vault. Engage if you must, but I would prefer if you could gather the information we need without conflict.
In order to avoid drawing too much attention, you need to fly under the radar, so to speak. Admiral Tenay has authorized the requisition of a shuttlecraft for you. You can fulfill the requisition in the shipyard. Once you're ready, take the shuttlecraft out to the Halcona system. If you have a runabout, fighter, or other such craft available, feel free to use it, but do not approach the system in a starship. We want to avoid the notice of whoever's in the vault. A shuttle will also be able to dock with the vault and explore the interior. Any questions? It's a calculated risk. That's part of the reason that we're sending a small craft. We don't want to provoke the Romulans by sending in a starship unless it's absolutely necessary. Any questions? What? Oh, that mythical boogeyman organization? No. This is a standard Starfleet operation at the behest of Admiral Tenay and supported by Starfleet intelligence. In case you were wondering, that means that you should observe all regulations and don't start a war. Any questions? Borg technology, Thalaron weapons like the ones used by Shinzon, cloaking mines, and heavy graviton beams? We're not entirely sure. That's why we need eyes inside. The station itself is near a micronebula and surrounded by a tachyon detection grid. Even a cloaked ship wouldn't be able to sneak in there. You should also expect automated defenses like turrets and cannons. We haven't spotted any ships in the vicinity, fortunately. Although with Romulan cloaking, anything is possible. Any questions? Starfleet will make sure to have a ship or two in range for a rapid response in case of emergency. Hopefully, though, you'll be able to keep things quiet and that won't be necessary. Of course, missions rarely go exactly as planned. Any questions? Very well. Remember, you must use a shuttlecraft, runabout, fighter, or similar small operations craft to undertake this mission. We need on-site intel from the interior of the vault. Starfleet will not clear you to enter the Halcona system otherwise. Good luck.
Obviously, this station isn't as abandoned as Intel suspected. Sensors are reading several Riemann ships in the area, and that's just the ones that we can spot. That station is immense. It must have taken an incredible amount of manpower and technology to build it. It's almost the size of a small moon. Sensors are reading a sophisticated tachyon detection network, as well as several patrolling vessels. For an abandoned station, this facility certainly has a lot of activity. My people are experts at stealth technology. If we want to approach unseen, we must avoid confrontation and find a way to evade or jam their sensor grid. We must assume that if we engage the ships here, they'll notify whoever is left on the station, and it may become difficult to find an entry point. This asteroid is unusually large, and it's clearly been mined. It was probably used for raw construction materials, like most of the debris here. This particular asteroid contains pergium, titanium, and uranium. It was probably tractored from a nearby system and brought here to construct hull components and power systems. We could probably cut a piece from the asteroid with our weapons for further analysis.
Warning. Ship.
Looks like the fragment has picked up a bit of residual energy from our weapon burst. It'll be radiating energy for a while. Other than that, it's just a rock. Looks like they left this satellite as a communications booster for their short-range worker shuttles. Unfortunately, it's heavily encrypted. We could use this to boost our own communications, but that doesn't seem to offer any way in to the station itself. Indications are that this vessel was refitted for asteroid mining. Apparently, a containment failure in the engine core led to a massive radiation surge. The engine went into emergency shutdown, but all of the couplings and injectors were burned out. The crew probably died due to instant radiation burns. It looks like the vessel was stripped for parts and left derelict. Although the vessel's engine core is a total loss, some of the backup computer systems were left intact. This vessel was used to deploy some of the tachyon detection satellites around the vault. There's a copy of the network algorithm in the computer memory. If we put the tachyon satellites along the final meridian into maintenance mode, we can create a gap in the detection grid that will let us slip through. If we can get close to the base without passing through the detection grid, we should be able to put a satellite into maintenance mode. Then that will give us a gap that will allow us to slip into the station itself undetected. Approaching the tachyon grid perimeter. If we're detected by it, that will definitely alert the Riemanns. The satellite's in maintenance mode. We can pass through the net. Picking up some unusual energy readings. We'll need to explore the accessible interior areas and see what we can find. Looks like there's another access conduit across from us. We'll have to think three-dimensionally in here. Sensor readings are also picking up a few scattered life signs. We've tripped some security systems. The doors are a massive set of interior bulkhead doors. They're segmenting the different parts of the base. Possibly a safety measure in case something went wrong in one of the central areas. Access appears to be controlled by use of security keys. We can disable it if we can find a code block that matches part of a security key. This defense turret was hooked into part of the security network. There's a security code in its subsystem, code block 6750. Microgravity storage containers. Since this interior space has no artificial gravity, they're just left to float here. There's an assortment of construction materials and personal effects, including a personal access code key, 0668. I'm reading life signs in some of these living quarters. Interesting. The security node for this block of empty residences includes a code key, block 9904. The security key is on... That's it. Well done. We should be able to bypass the system and gain access now. storage crates, mostly construction supplies. No weapons or unusual energy signatures. There's still power in most of the station. Some of these conduits are damaged. Keep an eye out for energy discharges.
Warning, ship is under attack.
Above us, that's a Borg sphere. The Tal Shiar must have used this base as a storage facility and research area for Borg technology. The Borg sphere is dormant, like it's been put to sleep. It's not the source of the strange readings that long-range scans detected. Looks like the sphere's hooked into part of the local systems network. We should be able to exit through the other doors now. Probably a safety precaution to keep them locked. Quiet in this area. Too quiet. This is disturbing. We're looking at a facility used to build Thalaron weapons. If the Remans have infiltrated this base, they may be trying to secure those weapons.
Ah, so our intruder finally arrives at the heart of the matter. Have you seen all that you came to see, little spy? Does it really matter? Call me Obasek, if a name is that important to you. That should be obvious. I intend to make use of this station to further my agenda. Your presence, however, is a bit more curious. I expect that you are operating under the shroud of Empress Sela, whether you realize it or not.
Doubtless you have discovered the source of those readings. Understand that I have little desire to unleash this sort of destruction, but my hand is forced. The Reman people will only be liberated if we are able to make a clear and decisive stand against the Romulans. The technology of this station will allow us to do so. Just as your Federation offered assistance to the Romulans before the supernova of Hobus and the subsequent destruction of Romulus? No. History has shown that I cannot trust in the good intentions of the Federation.
An oppressed people must be ready to seize their liberty through any means available to them. The technology of this station has provided me with indisputable means. So our intruder. That should be obvious. Doubtless you have discovered I am prepared to take that risk. I strongly suspect the Federation and the Klingons will not have any desire to test our metal once all Riemann ships are armed with Thaleron weapons. Regardless, this will all be over soon enough. My plans are for liberation, not conquest. I am not a Romulan, and I do not allow passion to rule my intellect. I understand the risks of my actions. While there will be strife and hardship in the future, at least it will be a future that the Riemann people are free to face for themselves. I will deal with the future when it arrives. For me, there is no tomorrow until my people are free. However, I respect your commitment to your position. It's a shame we are at cross purposes. I am afraid our time is at an end. My associates have already finished loading the Thaleron weapons that we need, and I have other operations to manage. I think we both know what happens now. May your death be quick and valorous.
door locks.
Hull integrity below 50%. Is under attack. Warning. Ship is under attack. Hull integrity below 75%.
We must stop Obisek's ship. They cannot be allowed to possess Thalaron weapons. We can use the subspace booster satellite outside the station to send a message to Starfleet as soon as we're clear of the interior. But Obisek's warship will almost certainly attack us when we do. We'll have to survive long enough for reinforcements to arrive. We must stop Obisek's ship. Reinforcements have arrived and are just past that nebula. We don't have much time. We need to meet with our allies and stop that ship. USS Laza is signaling us. They're going. We are now in the micronebula.
Is
quite an explosion. Probably from the Thaleron weapons carried aboard the ship. We're going to leave the system under high warp to draw off any reinforcements that might come looking. Suggest you return to Federation space.
Taken a preliminary look at your logs, and it seems that things went a bit unexpectedly. I have a feeling this isn't the last time we'll be seeing the Vault. The Riemann commander you encountered is definitely a major player in the disintegration of the Romulan Star Empire. I'm going to send the information you gathered about him over to an old colleague of mine, Dr. Maximilian Peters, for analysis. If this Riemann is a leader in their separatist movement, we'll have to deal with him again. And hopefully, Dr. Peters can work up a psychological profile for him, and a sociological analysis of the separatists. Our next step will be to decode the signal intelligence and go through any remnants left from the ship that was destroyed near the Vault. Now that we know that the Riemanns were hoping to use Thaleron weapons, we need to figure out their target location. Right now, Starfleet knows far too little about a civil war in the making, but it'll take time to sift through all of the data. Keep in touch. Starfleet will notify you when we have a lead. Oh, and thanks for the good work.
Excellent work. We need to learn more about the conflict between Obasek and the Romulans. Sila's forces may indeed be hounding the Riemanns, but the use of Thaleron weapons is unacceptable. Not even the Klingons or the Breen will stoop to such barbarism. Starfleet intelligence will be working to decode the list of possible targets you acquired from the base's databanks. The next step may be to investigate these sites and find out why the Riemanns want to destroy them.
I have new missions for you.